got the chat up now. Okay, so context. So in tonight's Dismembering Tarot, which I do every Tuesday on Telegram, 6:30. I will put the link in the description if you do want to join the channel, join in the chat on every Tuesday, 6:30, called Dismembering Tarot. Okay. So in tonight's discussion, you want to call it that, insight, deep dive into the Lovers card. How it unfolded was really interesting, and it's not something that's happened before, and I don't think it's something I've ever seen before in reading cards. So we were doing a deep dive into the Lovers card, from all types of different decks. So that was interesting in and of itself. But what kind of transpired was the three decks that I was, or three of the decks that I was using, that I'd pulled the Lovers cards from, were the Tarot of the Abyss, the Druidcraft Tarot, and the the Druidic Tarot. And what we noticed in the cards, because what I'd done is I'd done an example of how you could read the Lovers cards as either, a reading about love and relationships or about choices. Because, interesting factoid, the Lovers card was originally not called the Lovers card, it was originally called the Decision. Interesting. So when I'd laid out three cards and to give an example of how you would read those, two different ways, with the Lovers card in the middle. So I then started to pull the other cards from different decks. So it was the Ten of Wands, Lovers card, and the Eight of Cups. So I pulled the same cards from the Druidcraft Tarot and from the Druidic Tarot. And it was really interesting, because what seemed to happen was we had the beginning of the journey, the middle of the journey, and the ending, and the level up of the journey. So you'll see what I mean when I pull the cards. So let's just get on with it, shall we? So this is a general reading, yeah? A general reading for right now, you could say, yeah? So I'm going to pull three cards. Oh, whoa, no, that's a spill. So I will take that one, because that one was the other way up. So only, oh, there we go. There's one. Interesting. Then one more card from the Tarot of the Abyss. This is it. That one. Okay. Right, so let's see what we've got. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Death card. And we have the Two of Wands. So I'm taking the Death card as the main energy here as the place in this first layer, yeah, the place where you are now. So this is the ending, the beginning, the rebirth energy, the creative order from disorder, which is very discordia energy. Yeah. It's also the energy of Kali. So in order to create a new, you have to break down what was old. Yeah. And I would definitely say that is a pertinent energy for right now. You know, I would imagine that many of you are experiencing that on a very personal level, and we can also see it outside, you know, in the world generally. So it's a very pertinent energy for right now. It's also the number 13. So some of you will definitely resonate with that number. Okay. So this is the pivotal energy, yeah? The creative order from disorder. So you create order from disorder, but it's a creative process as opposed to destructive order from disorder. Now, what do I mean by that? So those beings who are not connected to divine source energy, and there could be all kinds of beings on this planet, then you have no way to actually create. Yeah. All you can do is either tap into someone else's divine source energy, which is done a lot through, I don't want to get too much into this, but like the idea of institutions being thought forms. So people have to feed them constantly for it to be able to, I hesitate to use the word create, but kind of that's how it looks. But it's actually a destructive process. Yeah, so whether that's schools, health service, all those, you know, governments, that they're not creative as in expansive. They are very restrictive and destructive. Yeah. And they certainly don't honor those who are creative, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Anyway. So this is the energy of the Discordian energy of creating creative order from disorder. So the breaking down and the rebuilding of something better, yeah, or more expansive. All right. So this Eight of Pentacles here, I would see that as, you know, the very physical, tangible work that has been put in. Yeah, it's very grounded. It's a very like the practical creativity, if you like, the actual building of the thing. Yeah, yeah. So that's the work that's come before this rebirth energy, if you like. So it's like this work in the Eight of Pentacles has brought you to this place. So the thing that you've created, the physical, your physical experience, yeah, I would say parts of it are being broken down to be rebuilt on a personal level, and also we see it out there. Yeah. Two of Wands. So this card is quite interesting. So just before I get there. So this card, he's looking back. He's looking to the left, past. Yeah, so literally we're seeing that, okay? We're literally seeing the past, the present, and the future. So the Eight of Pentacles, he's looking back at what, so you're looking back at what you physically created, yeah? The Death card's like face on, yeah? So now, this is happening now. And then we have the Two of Wands. He's looking to the right, future, yeah? Two of Wands is the moment after the idea, the spark, the thing that you realize you are passionate about, yeah. So before it begins to come into manifestation, which is the 3, which is a triangle, yeah, which is like the first kind of step to the foundation of something. So this is the bit in between. So you're looking ahead, you're thinking, yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, I can see it, I can feel it, because it's wands, it's your fire. Yeah, you feel that fire in your belly and you're ready. You're looking ahead. Yeah, this is it. This is where I'm going. Interesting. So that in itself is a very clear message. Yeah. So what we're now going to do is we're going to take the same cards from the Druid Craft. I always Druid Craft deck. Yeah, so we've got the Death card. Let me just put that there. We've got the, bear with me, we're looking for the Eight of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. Bear with me. Bear with me. This is a very interesting way to do a reading, and I actually quite like this. I think it tells us a lot. Eight of Pentacles and maybe Two of Wands. Two of Wands. Two of Wands. We're getting there. We're getting there. Two of Wands. Okay. Okie doke. So, Eight of Pentacles. Death card. Two of Wands. So, Eight of Pentacles. Death card. Oh, lighting. You see that? Oh. And the Two of Wands. Interesting. So we're seeing, it's the same thing that we saw when we were in the group earlier. So this is kind of the first layer, yeah, of that journey. What you've physically built is essentially being alchemized and you see where that's going, where your passion is leading you to, yeah, where your drive, your will is leading you to. Solar plexus energy. This is root chakra. So what we have here in the Druidic Craft Tarot is the next stage of the journey. this is amazing. So we're moving. Although this is Pentacles, this is still Wands, yet we are seeing a shift. A very definite shift here. So although this is still Pentacles, this is very earth, yeah? This is more fire. What we've got here is the use of fire, because there's no fire in that Tower of the Abyss, 8 of Pentacles. There's no fire there, it's all earth, yeah? What we have here is we're bringing fire to the earth, yeah? Which is interesting, because there's some volcanic stuff going on at the moment. On the planet, not in my head. So it's still the 8 of Pentacles, but it's bringing in fire, which is the energy. And even in this death card, she has a cauldron. This is the process of alchemization. This is that a bat or is that a bird? No, that's a bird. Sunrise or sunset? I would say that's a sunset in the death card. We'll go into a bit more detail in a minute. And then what we have here, this is really interesting. Oh my God, this is so cool, guys. I'm really excited about this, yeah. So what we have, and like I say, we'll go into a bit more detail in a minute. What we have with the Two of Wands, the other Two of Wands here, he is looking forward where he's going. What have we got here? It's almost like he's looking through. He's looking through to see this Two of Wands on the hill. He can see where he's going. Very clearly, he can see where he's going. Next stage of the journey is actually going there. Yeah. So anyway, the pivotal card, the death card, yeah, the process of the alchemization of the old into the new, the breaking down of the old into the new, yeah. Here we have the actual process, yeah. So here's the idea, if you like, yeah. Here is the idea, the blueprint, if you like, which is really interesting because it's in black and white. Blueprints are usually 2 colours, yeah. So we have the blueprint. This is the blueprint. Here is the process, yeah. Literally, this is so exciting. Sorry. It's exciting. This is exciting. Yeah. Tell me that I'm wrong. This is exciting, yeah. So we have the process from Earth using the fire, yeah, to really get that creative process like one step. Oh, okay. Holy crap. Okay, so what he's done here in this 8 of Pentacles, he's created the mold. What's another word for it? The cast for. It's here. It's right here. Yeah. They're kind of circular in that one, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. He's created the casting for this molten metal. Yeah. Gold. Looks like gold to me. So he's in this 8 of Pentacles, he's created the very cast which he's using here. Mind blown. So you've got the process here. this process here, this alchemical process, is something that has been done. You know how to do. It's within you. Yeah, it's the very process that we are undertaking right now, finding, uncovering, allowing the unfolding of who we really are. Yeah, I love this. I love this. So the process, the actual alchemical process is happening in this card. Here's the blueprint. Here's the alchemical process, the cauldron. So the cauldron has many meanings as a symbol. It is the crucible, yeah, for the alchemical process. It is also the place in the kind of mythological terms. It is the void, yeah, again, where things are birthed from, the void space. It's the space where you can go. I think in last week's Everything is Magic on my radio show, I led you through the process of meeting the dark moon deity and sitting, if you so chose to, in that giant cauldron. It's also, the rim of the cauldron is known as the Milky Way. So massive, massive symbol of movement and change. And sunrise or sunset? I'd say sunset. But it could be the sunrise. I'm going with sunset because that's kind of the energy of when you get to the Two of Wands, that's kind of like a new day, if you like. So I'd say this is the sunset. It's a liminal time, whether it's sunrise or sunset. It's a very liminal time. You've got the snake in there as well. Transformation. You've got the skull. Very much symbolizing standing on the shoulders of those who came before. Yeah. You also have the scythe she's wearing, if you can see that here. The scythe being the cutting, the harvesting. She has I don't know what that, it's not a robe, but it's the red. This red here. Yeah. Denoting many things. The blood of our ancestors, if you like, that thread that goes all the way back. Because when you are undertaking this kind of alchemical process, it has a ripple effect through your very DNA. Yeah. And it does. It how would I put that? It ripples. That's probably the best way I can describe it. It ripples through the generations that came before. You could even postulate. So in the distance, you have two trees on a hill. In this card, you have two trees that are on a hill, because they're on a hill and it dips down and it goes up again. You can very clearly see that. Excuse me. What else can we take from this process of alchemy? We do have some faces in the card behind her as well. You could say they're ancestors, spirit, that are aiding the process from blueprint to the actual process of alchemy, which is also in this Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. So the Two of Wands. So after the blueprint, and I know I'm going, you land here, which is, it's a very stable energy. Now, I forget what that particular, I don't know if it tells me in here what this figure is called. Let me see. Where are we? Twos. It doesn't tell me what the figure's called. No. And I don't have the big book at the moment. But this is a very stable wand energy. You could even postulate that between two pillars, there's balance, portal energy, you could say. In fact, on the call that we did tonight, one of my friends pointed out that we got 25, 11, 25. Okay, really interesting. Because if you break down the two 25s on the end, we've got 7, 11, 7. Yeah. The 11 we have here. Yeah. 11. The 7 either side is means different things, but in the context we were talking in, is the spiritual journey, if you like, or the journey of your spirit. Yeah. So here we have the 11 and the walking through that portal energy. I like that. Okay. Let us take from the Druidic Tarot these 3 cards. So what have we got? We've got the 8 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, and the Death card. Bear with me. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me, folks. I think in this one, stones are pentacles. Right, we have the Death card. Bear with me. That's 8. I'll get there in a minute. Bear with me. Nope. That one. And it's the 8. There we go. 8 of stones. Pretty sure stones. Let me just double check that. Stones is Earth. Yeah. Let's double check that. Make sure I've got the right one. Okay. Let's have a look. Guys, honestly. Wow. There's the Death card. Eight of Stones. Interesting card. And the Two of Wands. Oh my goodness. You really couldn't make this up. This is so exciting. Okay. So when we did this in the group, what I didn't realise that the Tower of the Abyss was the blueprint. I just saw it as a starting energy, but it's become clear in this reading that this is a blueprint. Yeah, this is the process. This is like a level up, if you like. It's the next level up. In that, oh, bear with me, just done something weird there. That's it. It's the next level up. Hang on. That's it. It's the next level up in the journey. And we can see this very clearly. So, Death card. Blueprint, process. What are you doing there? You're walking through this blooming portal that's in the Two of Wands card. And you can see. Wow. Let me just get my magnifying glass out on that. These are quite small cards. Very interesting thing on the back of the figure. But what I can see, so we have more birds. They're not bats, they're birds. We have an alchemical process, and the staff that the figure is carrying is a wand. Ace of Wands, I would say. So, if you can see that, there we go. So you've got a transformational process going on here. Yeah. So one of the things when you're in meditation and if you are in the cauldron, sometimes, and I've experienced this myself, you feel like your whole being is breaking down and then being reformed. Yeah, it's literally down to the bones and then reformed. We did some very intense work with Sekhmet in 2020. Doing that process, I think it's 21 days of the process, and then you do a ritual. So it's 22 meditations, but the alchemical process is of 21 days. And that's what we're seeing in this card. So this is, you go blueprint, process, and there we have it. There's the transformation complete, which leads you, so Ace of Wands, Two of Wands. Boom. Can you see what I'm talking about? Well, I'm talking about this being the next lot of cards, or the previous set of cards, inform the next layer of cards. That's kind of how I'm seeing it anyway. So this is really interesting because he's got one staff. You have the bones, yeah. So literally being alchemized down to the bone to reform. And it's really weird because he's got a really strange thing coming out of the back of him. I'm not sure what it is, but it might be a hand. But it looks like it's coming out from his back, which is really interesting. But this Ace of Wands then leading to the Two of Wands. And what have you got here? We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to go back to this one, the Eight of Stones. Let's just get my magnifying glass on that because it's really hard to see. So, dirty magnifying glass doesn't help. So what's interesting about this card, not sure what it is that she's making. Let me see, because what's really cool about the little book, it's a little tiny book that comes with it, but it actually explains the artwork. So we've got Eight of Stones. So it says 8 stones are arranged in a row. The nearest one is carved and polished by a druidess sculptor. 7 stones are awaiting finishing. Okay. They will become beautiful talisman. So this is the finishing touches. We have the blueprint. We have the casting of the physical thing that you've created. And then we're putting on the finishing touches. You know, we're polishing it. We are honing it, tweaking it, you know, making those fine adjustments before this process comes in, this alchemical process. Isn't it funny? So one of the words that kept coming up in the conversation in the Dismembering Tarot group tonight was surrender. That kept coming up in the Lovers card. So the Death card also embodies this idea of surrender. So this thing that you've spent, you've got your hands dirty, and you've worked. You've poured your everything literally poured your everything into creating this, whatever it is, yeah? Now is the time to surrender it to this process of alchemization, yeah? Transformation. And then comes the clarity, what is it that sparks you? What is it that fires you up? Yeah. Wow. You have the clarity with which to see that. Literally, it's there. Very close. Yeah. And then, holy moly, you've done a Merlin. Or you've done a Gandalf on me. Holy smokes, Batman, you've done a Gandalf on me. And what are we seeing in this Two of Wands? There's a mastery there, very clearly. And he's standing again between the two wands. Clearly been a long journey from this Eight of Pentacles all the way to this Two of Wands. And the blueprint, I see it, it's on the horizon. You can see it, you've got there, you can see it, and now you are there on the top of this hill. That's essentially where you're going. Let me just read the Two of Wands there. Wands. Read that one, I think. Yes, Wands. Let's see what it says about the artwork. A bright, white-clad, powerful druid wields 2 long spear-shaped holy staffs from the top of a cliff. A tantalizing path lies ahead. New ideas accompany the planning of the journey. Do we understand that the power is in our hands alone? Isn't that? That is just amazing. Yeah. Now, I'm going to just grab one of these amazing cards from the Guiding Light. Guiding Light. Just to round this off. I think this is amazing how it works. Truly, truly amazing how this works. You've got 3 levels. From blueprint to this amazing ascension path. Yeah, it's an ascent. These 3 decks, and if you've got these 3 decks, if you have these 3 decks, play with that. Or, you know, experiment with 3 other decks that work really well together. These are playing really well together, and I love that. It's really nice. Okay. 2. 2 cards. I was only wanting 1, but I got 2. It says spiritual practice. So a little aside. The word spiritual is a little bit of a distraction. It's not a spiritual practice, because that kind of indicates that you must be doing something to be spiritual. No. Let's call it like it is. No. You are spirit. It just so happens that you are in an overlay, if you like, or an avatar, or whatever you want to call this, yeah? But you are spirit. So it's not a spiritual practice, it's just be spirit. Yeah? But it says, a little aside there, making time for your spiritual practice. So I would slightly tweak that. Make time to be spirit. Yeah. It will assist you with clearing your mind and restoring your inner peace. So all that's really saying, it's an alchemization process. There we go, right there. So when you allow yourself to be spirit, that's the connection to your higher self, part of you that's bigger and sees everything, which, when you connect in that way to the part of you that's bigger and sees everything, it brings you a lot of peace, especially when you request for that to be so. Yeah. The second card is dreams. And it says your dreams may be more vivid and more intense than usual. Well, I'd say that's right there with the 2 of Wands. Especially with this amazing fire colour energy in this. And this, the spiritual practice card, yeah, that's your crown chakra right there. And a little heart energy as well. So, folks, it's been 3/4 of an hour. I think that's quite enough. Let me know what you think on this way of reading. I'm going to do this a bit more often, actually. I think this is really cool. And I've encouraged the group to go and experiment as well. I really like these 3 sets of cards and how they inform the next level. Yeah, if that makes sense. Really nice. Nice reading. I like it. And I hope that you did too. Big energy. Definitely big energy. But you're going from putting everything into creating the casting that holds your physical, the bringing in the experience of what you want to experience in the physical realm, yeah, all the way to you are Gandalf. Gandalf the White. Yeah, very, very cool. So I'm going to leave it here. I really hope that you've enjoyed this. I'm quite excited about this. And I hope you are as well. You know what to do if you are. Yeah. So with that, I shall leave you and say cheerio and